Welcome to the Yes Show. I am your host, LaCora Stevenson. In case this is your first time tuning in, Yes means young, entertaining, and saved. I am a young Christian actress pursuing my dream out here in LA, but it kind of gets hard sometimes, especially when you're alone. Now, all of my family is way back east. They're in Florida. So the only support system that I have out here is my alumni chapter, a few great friends, but then sometimes you kind of want a significant other. Y'all, it's hard. Okay, now some Christians may not agree that one should date, but that's a debate for the future. Anyways, I recall meeting a young man from a nice church, and he was interested in me. So I decided to take him on his offer and go out with him. Nothing big, just a nice walk at the park, to talk and possibly play some games. We're having a great time, great conversation. And then he says, "Man, I like you." And I was like, "Yeah, you seem nice too." He was like, "I want a woman that I like, not that I just love, but that I like, because if you like her, you're always attracted to her. And you know what that means." I said, "No, I don't know. Please elaborate." And he said, "Well, it's like, that song, I don't want to be loved, I don't want to be loved." Now, at this point, I had never heard the song that he was talking about. And I'm like, "Are you suggesting something explicit to me, sir?" So I say, "I'm actually not trying to do anything like that until I'm married." And he looks shocked and says, "So you wouldn't do anything until you're married?" I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't stutter." And so he's like, "I just don't know about that." And I'm thinking, now I don't know what he's talking about because he's a Christian. And I just thought that this is a Christian man and he would be down with it. But I haven't heard from that joker since. You think he called me? He ain't never called me. So that is why today I have a relationship life coach here in Arthur, Christopher Johnson, and he's going to talk about Christian dating, relationships, all the things that we go through. He's a speaker, so he entertains people with his knowledge and wisdom, and I am so glad we have him here on the show. Now, before we get to him, we have our song of the day by Jennifer Howland, "Righteous Revolution." Check it out.
Serve the Father, and we realize that Christ, him and the living water. We bigger and we brother, righteousness and the order, revolution the power father. And we turn from sin, no we not go back. True we did dangerous like a heart attack. To Christ him change me and we brother that. Power, we are trying we not trespass.
Let me hear my brothers and my sisters say, righteous revolution. Let me introduce myself so the world knows I'm not playing games with my soul. Introduce myself, I ain't playing back and forth, I ain't gonna
make it flow right through the speaker. The humble to the maker, stronger to the weaker. Me come to make them know say, if you want love, come see it ya. Live for Jesus and stop die up in the seat ya.
Revolution. Let me hear my brothers and my sisters say, righteous revolution. I'm not playing, I've been changed ever since I called on Jesus' name. Like a butterfly wrapped up inside, I spread my wings so I can fly.
I will make the whole world see that. Bang with the day, bang with the day.
What do you want is the righteous solution?
Now, I know y'all had to like that song. I picked that out. That was Jennifer Howland's Righteous Revolution. I love the video. I love the whole look of it. And she's a beautiful woman. Now, today I'll be discussing relationships with author Christopher Johnson. Before I talk to him, I actually have a little segment I like to call He Say, She Say. Welcome, my friend, Robert. Hey, Robert.
Hey, LaCora.
Now, so He Say, She Say. Christian dating. Is physical touch appropriate?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think so.
Ooh,
I do.
really?
I do.
I say really.
I
So
do.
now, as a Christian man,
Yes,
you
I am.
dated, and
Yes.
I take it that you guys have, went down that road of intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, and I only ask this because some people don't know. They're asking, well, what do? I really like him. I'm attracted to him. I myself, as innocent as I am, I see a nice looking man. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I just have these feelings on the inside, and I have to tell these feelings, no, stop, cease, I say. Sometimes these feelings, they don't want to do it. So Robert, if I am holding hands, is that acceptable?
Yes, it is.
Kissing, acceptable?
Yes.
Kissing with tongue.
Yes.
Oh, now let's just say, why do you think that it is?
That is okay.
Yes.
Well, honestly, and I am a Christian guy, and I want to say that for the record, and I love the Lord with all my heart. And also, he knows my heart. But my leg and everything else. I have to control. But no, I say that because I do feel like, if you're building, a lot of times when you're dating to be with someone and to build to a relationship where you can be with that person forever.
Yes.
I just feel like I need to know that, that the oven cuts on. That's all.
Did he just say that the oven cuts on? Lord, it's
That's
getting
what I
hot.
said.
I think I need to take off my sweater for that one. Now, Robert, you are saying that my tongue down one's mouth is acceptable in God's eyes if he is not my husband, if
Yes.
I'm not married to him.
Yes. I
Okay,
understand.
okay. Now, you know what? I agree with you. That's right. I don't mind a little tongue, but it doesn't mean that I'll be moving forward to anything else. Now, some people say no physical touch, no holding hands, nothing. Now, I
don't think it's realistic.
yeah, I don't think it's realistic either. But the biggie is sex. Should Christians partake in sex before marriage?
I'm not here, and I'm not going to condone anything because I don't want to lift my eyes up in hell and I got to pay for
Right.
something I just
And-
told
and
millions
God
of
said
of
you was on
viewers.
that Yes show.
Yes, but I can
Right.
only speak for myself, and I would say it's such a area of confusion for me because me personally, I feel like, being a single Christian guy who has experienced some things, we wasn't always at that point. I feel like it's certain things that I just feel like I need to have certain intimacy with my lover that I need to experience. I really feel like that.
You need to experience
I feel
it,
that
Robert?
I need it. I'm sorry, I need to experience it, I mean.
You need to.
Yes.
Why? Because I'm thinking to myself, as a woman, most women could do without it. They're just like, okay, cool, you're not my husband, so this isn't going to go down. I could hold your hand. I could rub your little back. I could maybe massage your little feet. However, it ain't going down when it's, to that part of the
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, but you know.
And then we all know biblically it says fornication. It's a big no-no.
And I do agree. I do agree. But I'm just saying, I think, and I may speak, maybe there's a lot of guys like myself who I'm fearful of what if something happens because that, to me, that part is such a big part in a relationship.
But most
And
married
what if-
people say that it isn't.
Well, listen, I haven't been married, so I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know if I can take y'all word for it. But I'm just saying that what if, something happens, I wait all this time, 3 years.
Right.
We get married.
Right.
And on that wedding night,
She just sits there like this, like a stiff board.
and I'm going to be sitting there like this. What have I done? God,
Robert.
we're going to have a conversation.
No, I
'Cause,
disagree because I think that the two, if you don't like it the first time, laugh about it. Have fun. Like, that was bad. And then you guys could have such a fun time discovering what makes you feel good, what makes me feel good. You know what I mean? I don't know. Any last thoughts on it, Robert?
No, just, if you're going to do it, pray before. Pray the night before. I don't know what to say.
You guys, please pray for Robert, okay?
Please.
Pray for this man. He loves God, but he needs a little work in the relationship department, all right? Now, on that note, we're going to go ahead. That was our He Say, She Say. If you guys have any comments about it, go to LaCoraStevens.com. Let's go to a commercial, and then we will have our guest, Mr. Christopher Johnson.
Sun exposure starting in childhood is a major cause of skin cancer. That's why you should apply a high SPF sunscreen and keep your kids covered up whenever they're outside, not just at the beach or pool. Protect your children from the sun. They'll thank you for it someday.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
To change the world, you don't have to be rich, or famous, or play ball, or lead countries. All you have to do is tell your family you want to be an organ donor. Talk to your family about organ donation. Talk to your family about donating life.
Welcome back. Today we have a brother that is an author of 3 books, has a literacy program for disadvantaged children, and has been on stage with Hill Harper and Rev Ron. Welcome, my guest, Christopher Johnson.
Thank you.
Hey, how are you, Chris?
I'm blessed.
May I call you Christopher or Chris? It's
Your
Chris,
choice.
okay?
Your choice. This is your show.
This is, yes, yes, this is my
Yes.
show.
This is your show.
Yeah, so now that's a lot that you have working with. I must commend you because some folks, they can't handle it. They
Right.
feel like, well, let me just stay with this one thing and that's it.
Right.
But you're sort of a jack of all trades.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you
Yes.
ever find yourself spreading yourself thin?
Not at all. In 1 Peter, it says we've all been given gifts. We're supposed to use them daily. And the word gifts is plural, so we have a lot of them. What I find best to manage all of my gifts is that they all feed off each other. And they all feed off each other for the benefit of the kingdom.
Okay.
You can't go wrong then.
You certainly can't go wrong. Now, your books, let's talk about that
Yes,
first.
ma'am.
Here, Hang Up the Phone.
Yes, that's my baby. That's my
This
fir-
is
that's
this
my best
is your
one.
baby.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the best
I
one.
hope you brought one for me.
Hey,
Yes?
we can hook it up.
We
can
could hook it
hook
up. Okay, okay.
Yes,
But you
ma'am.
also, before we talk about Hang Up the Phone, you have 2 others.
Yes, ma'am.
My Mom Was My Dad
Yes, ma'am.
and Dressing from the Inside.
Getting dressed from the inside.
Getting dressed from. Tell me about that. That sounds so interesting.
Well, not to give a little history on me, but I used to always chase that dream of being a professional athlete. So it's led me to travel across the country, trying out for teams, whatever. And I've met a lot of people and a lot of beautiful women, let's just say that way. And I found myself, the more beautiful the women I kept meeting, the more empty or dirty or just bad they felt on the inside.
Really?
So some of the most beautiful women I've met in Miami, in LA, even in the Bahamas. I mean, if you get a chance to sit down and talk with them, they're really battling something on the inside, and most of it is low self-esteem, things like that. So I reverted back to a scripture I read and studied one time where God said, I knew you before I formed you in the womb. So that means everything that he created about you, my gap, which it took me a lot of years to not want to get braces.
Me too.
I blame my mother, but now
Why
I'm okay
do you
with
blame
myself.
your mom?
But my mother could
No.
have got me braces, but come on, really? But anyway,
But you know what?
it's my character
Your
now.
wife is going to love that gap. You know that song by India Ari?
I hope so,
I love
yes.
the gap in between his
Oh,
teeth.
yeah. See,
I got a gap.
you
in
and my
that.
mom are going to be friends.
Yeah, seriously.
But I mean, it even took some time for me to get to like myself.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about me, from my ears to my gap to my low voice. I really like to yell sometimes, but it doesn't work.
Well, you know what? Let me just say this, Christopher Johnson. You are a good-looking man.
thank
You a tall glass of water, and I'm sure any of y'all single ladies out there are like, well, who is this LaCora? Well, I'm trying to let you know who he is, all right? So, ex-professional athlete, or, you prospective,
Right.
okay? Author of 3 books. Go on, tell us
Do I
more.
have to pay you for that?
No, you
Okay.
don't.
No, but as I started, especially when I moved to LA and got into the athlete circle out here, a lot of my friends that I did not make teams with, they did play. So they're professional athletes, and with them comes the crowd. And with
Right.
the crowd, I just started to spend time and talk with people. And some people were really damaged and hurting on the inside. So when I went to that scripture, I knew you before I formed you in the womb, it just led me one night to write. And my first night, I wrote 15 pages. It turned into 3 books, and all of them deal with helping someone get better from the inside. So Getting
Nice.
Dressed from the Inside is the first foundational book.
I like that. I like that a lot. And I say that because I used to teach, and I knew that a lot of students did not like who they were. They did not like how God made them, and they
Right.
felt like they were worthless or useless. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, what about Hang Up the Phone? The guide, let's see, the guide to getting over your ex in 30 days, is this guaranteed?
Yes.
Because I know a lot of women, right?
Yes.
We're like, well, how do I get over that man? We've been broken up for like 3 years, and I'm still trying to figure out what to do. So how can I get over my ex in 30 days?
That is funny that you said that. Actually, I was counseling a few female friends of mine, and one of them had my number one night, and I was just finishing My Mom Was My Dad. And as I'm writing, I was up late, and she called me at 2 in the morning. And I mean, hysterical. I just called him, and I told him off, and I left him 34 messages. And I said, really? I said, well, hold on, calm down. So what happened? And she said, well, he hurt me. He cheated with my ex-girlfriend, one of my friends, my girlfriend, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, let me ask you a question. How long have y'all been broken up? Because you sound really upset, and, I may need to give you some counseling to go and calm down right now.
Right.
She said, it's been 1 year and 4 months. I dropped the phone. I dropped it. Hence the title, Hang Up the Phone. I almost hung up.
Right.
But actually, when she said she left 33 messages,
Yeah, that's crazy.
it was just, so what did you do on the 34th message? Did
Right.
you create the different message? She was like, no, I just was alone. So anyway, I started with that. And then I went to Barnes & Noble and did some research. And actually, all of the books in the relationship section that deal with breakups or getting over someone, they're all written from a biased first-person perspective, which if you read them and you're really hurting, and this is all spiritual here, you start to take on that person's anger or that person's
Yeah.
bitterness, even if it has nothing to do with your
Absolutely.
relationship. So what I decided to do was write a plan. It takes 30 days. Some people, I'm over him in the first minute. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Some people say it takes 2 days. No, it doesn't. Actually,
Right.
it doesn't. Some people say get under somebody else. None of those
That
work.
is, let me just say that because a lot of women do that,
Yeah.
and that is not, coming from experience,
Right.
I've just never been the one to do that. Don't do that, okay? It's just not going to work because you're still carrying that baggage with you to the next relationship. Make sure you spend some time with yourself and try to get healed from that. Now, I'm not the expert. Christopher is, so let him tell us. So quickly, give us 3 points of what we can do
Well, the 3 points would vary, but let me just give you one analogy here.
Okay.
If you were to cut yourself, your body builds a scab over it.
Yes.
Okay. If you continue to pick at it, it's never going to heal. Matter of fact, it may become infected, and you may end up losing a limb. What happens is when the heart is cut, I actually say anger is what the heart bleeds when it's been hurt. So what happens is as long as you try to cover it up, sweep it under the rug, find yourself doing other things, you're not actually healing. Therefore, whenever you go past a restaurant you and your ex went to, you hear a song or you pick out an
Right.
outfit that you wore or a color, you're picking at that scab and not allowing it to heal. And what happens is you end up looking for someone to mend your heart. When in actuality, God already said it's already in us.
And you know, that's so true. I mean, because when you think about it, if you're an athlete, you hurt your knee.
Right.
You can't play football on an injured knee, can you?
Not at all.
So how can you play love with a broken heart?
And so many of us try.
And we try so hard, and it's like, get it together.
Right.
Now, I don't have it all together. You know, I'm just saying, don't do that. Take some time for yourself, okay? Now, okay, so any other things you want to add about hang up the phone?
Number one thing about hang up the phone is that inside of it, I have you write a letter to love. This was one of the biggest selling points of the book. And when you write a letter to love, I have you address it as a person. And you can talk about all the things that have happened to you when love has went awry or someone used love in the wrong way. And then you get to actually speak to love as if it's a person. And then in the same chapter, I break down the 5 actual words for love. If you go into the Greek language, there's 5 words that describe love. Agape, phileo, which Philadelphia is named after, the city of brotherly love. Eros, which is erotic, love between a man and woman, and then storge and thelema. Storge, of course, is the love between parent and child. Well, thelema is interesting. Thelema is the love of a job or hobby. Some men actually love their wives, but when the woman looks for the touch or the hug, she's not getting it. She's like, well, he doesn't love me, but in actuality, he spends 10 hours at a job working to provide for you.
Love,
So it's once you get into how complex love really is, then I can start to build you up on how to get over your ex.
I like that. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
Now, I also want to talk about your programs. You have 2 nonprofits?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you quickly tell us about that?
Quickly, the first one is Let Everybody Read. The other one is also Best Foot Forward. Let Everybody Read, of course, I took from the scripture where there is no knowledge, people perish. What happens is in the inner cities, I did a little search. I used to write books at Calabasas, Barnes & Noble. And what I used to see was very rich kids coming in with credit cards, buying lattes and pulling these big books off the shelf, like studying for the ACT, SAT. And they sit there with me. I write for 10 hours a day sometimes. They sit there the whole time, buying lattes, all kind of stuff with their credit cards. And I'm looking at them like, wow. And when the store closed, they went and put the book back on the shelf. That broke my heart because here they are, they have the money to buy these books, but they sit there and study them. And then when you do a search, Barnes & Nobles are not geographically located in areas where most of our African American or underprivileged kids are.
That's true.
So my job is to help bring these books to those areas, to help give kids a head start on ACT, SAT, MCAT, any book. Help them get a head start. And then Best Foot Forward is for the new genre of employment where people are getting their degrees online. A lot of these people have one tie, one jacket, one shirt. Well, with Best Foot Forward, we want to give you several articles of clothing that you can make interchangeable and be able to go for several job interviews.
And I saw that you guys even give them like a gift card
Yes.
to get like $500 gift
Yes,
card.
ma'am. We give away a $500 gift card for men and female. What happens is if you bring us 10 job interviews in a certain area where we're focused at, you bring us 10 job interviews. Any one of those 10 job interviews, if you get one job, we give you a $500 gift certificate that gets you at least 1 week of interchangeable clothing. Therefore, you have 4 weeks of clothing for your job.
Can I sign up? Sign me up. No, that's pretty good.
But it gives people a chance. It gives them a chance to have the right wardrobe so they can feel right.
Okay.
My dear friend, Deion Sanders, I love him so much. He says, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good.
Yeah.
And if they pay good, you live good.
Deion is right about that.
So, I love that. And it's all about inside. And
Right.
you know, sometimes the tie and the shirt can just change a whole person's
And
demeanor.
it can. It really can. Now, I know also, you know, you have all this going on. All this. I mean, you've been on tour with, not on tour, but, you know, sitting at a table at an expo with like some heavy hitters.
Yes, heavy hitters.
So with that, like, what is the one thing that you could take away that you have learned and will bring forward to any future projects, if you have any?
Yes. One thing I can say I can take away is never lose hope.
Okay, never lose hope.
If the devil can get your hope, he's won. Hope in you becoming a better person. I mean, we all are faulty. We're all wretched people, but we
Yes.
try to be better each day.
Right.
And if you lose hope in fixing yourself or hope in your surroundings, you may live in the projects, you may live with one car, sleeping in the car. A lot of people don't realize I wrote 2 books sleeping in the truck. That means writing at night in the truck. I was homeless
Right.
for 2 years, and I did not give up, and I never lost my hope. If you lose your hope, it's a wrap. Never lose hope.
Okay, I like that. And I think I wanted to also ask you, with the heavy hitters that you were on, you know, the expo with, was it one person that just kind of intrigued you or taught you or gave you some wisdom?
Actually, Hill Harper gave me some wisdom.
I like Hill Harper.
He told me to
He's a
go with
good
what I
brother.
know. He said we were on stage in front of 25,000 women, and you know, of course, they're screaming his name, and I'm feeling a little left out. Like I want to take a picture,
Right, right.
and no one was asking me to take a picture.
Yeah.
But anyway, as I started to speak, what's funny is that people kept saying, "Hey, Hill, say something," or "Reverend, say something," and when they got around to me for my question, I said, "In the Bible," silence. And then I caught the crowd from that moment forward. And then that's when Hill said, if that's you, that's what you do.
Wow.
So
You're a good man. And I know you
I
speak
try.
on being, you
I
know,
try.
good man society and all
Yes.
that stuff. With the good man society, I like it, but devil could do good. Sometimes it's just too
Right.
many O's in that good. But you, Chris, I see you're a God man.
You said
And
too many O's in
Yeah,
that
too
good.
many O's in good.
That is funny.
No,
Yes,
seriously.
you're right, you're right.
But you are a man of God.
Yes.
And I mean, is there one scripture that you want to share or share with our viewers or anything?
the number one scripture I'll say that I live by is 1 Peter 4:10. And that
1
is, we've
Peter.
all been given gifts. We're supposed to use those gifts daily and ministering God's grace and faithfulness to serve others. No matter what kind of job you have, no matter what kind of dreams you have, if you serve others daily and administering God's grace, His faithfulness, His forgiveness, His love, you're successful.
You got that? Use your talent. You have the talents. That's plural. Do something with it. I am your host, LaCora Stevens. My guest, Mr. Christopher Johnson. If they want to reach you, how?
CBJglobal.com.
cbjglobal.com. Thank you for chiming in to the Yes Show. I'll see you again. Yes? Yes. Thank you.